Welcome back to another episode of Magic's in the Mess, the go-to podcast for ambitious women ready to stop pretending, start aligning, and finally build success your way. I'm your host, Danielle McKinley, speaker, business and wealth strategist, and your go-to problem-solving hype girl. Here, we'll help you unlock powerful mindset shifts, discover your magic, and bring your dream life into reality. Each week, I'll deliver raw stories, proven business strategies, and powerful transformations with industry leaders to activate the magic in you. So if you're ready to ditch the pressure, the performative BS, and the noise telling you who you should be, hit subscribe and let's make some magic. Today's guest is my dear friend, Stephanie Dorworth, the creative force behind Sunny Creator Co. and one of the most intentional videographers I know. Steph has a gift for helping women feel confident, grounded, and magnetic on camera. She captures stories in a way that reveals your essence, not just your brand, and she makes it feel completely effortless. Every time she steps behind the lens, she elevates the woman in front of it. Her energy is warm, her eye is unmatched, and her ability to make you feel seen is truly special. In today's conversation, you are going to be inspired to show up, own your voice, and let yourself be captured in your fullest expression. Let's welcome Stephanie to the show. Steph?
Hello.
Welcome to Magic's in the Mess.
Can we just talk about that intro real quick? I did not write that intro. That was so sweet. I might have to steal it and reuse it for other podcasts.
Please do. It's yours.
The sweetest words. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. It is such a pleasure and an honor to get to have this conversation with you today. Truly one of my dearest friends and just such a cheerleader for women. And what's funny is that a lot of people that know you now don't, and even me, when I met you, I knew the outgoing, the generator side of Steph, not the shy girl. So let's kind of start back with before you are who you are today. What was Steph like?
Little Steph, when I watch her back on home videos, she was this just like creative, free girly that always had like braids in her hair, a mic in her hand, singing, dancing, all the things. Like I just lit up on camera.
So there
And
were
this is like
signs.
this is like the little Steph though, before the world starts to get to her, right? So I do believe I was born a creative person.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got to school and especially into middle school, high school, a lot of my light was dimmed. And I'm not going to blame it on anyone else. I think I just put a lot of pressure on myself to be the perfect student, the perfect Christian girl that didn't cuss or do anything wrong, the eldest daughter that didn't cause any trouble and just stayed quiet and let her younger sister be the crazy one, the loud one. So over the years, I just put more and more pressure on myself to be perfect and to please everyone else and just make everyone else happy. And as a result, I didn't just dim my light. I turned my voice off. Like, even when I did talk, it wasn't very much. And it was just so quiet, like church mouse, like quiet. Because I was afraid people would judge me.
Yeah.
Or maybe they would hear me say something and think, oh, she's stupid. Like she isn't the straight A student. She acts like she is. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I became this really, really shy girl.
So one of the things that I absolutely love about you is your vulnerability and that you're an open book. And so I know that there are people listening to this that are like, that's me, that's still me, or they're relating to it. Can you pinpoint a moment when you felt your voice shut off, or was it more gradual?
That's a great question. I've reflected on this a lot because I've always tried to dig back into my memories and figure out when did I become shy.
Sure.
I don't think there was necessarily one moment where I became shy, but I do remember a moment in 6th grade. And I want to share this because I think a lot of people listening, maybe you didn't categorize yourself as the shy person, but you could probably relate to this story. So the moment that I remember my voice being turned off by myself was in 6th grade. You know, when you're sitting in the classroom and you're all at like the wooden desks and you all have a book out and you go around the class and everyone has to read one paragraph.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, they have this one. Okay, the next person's going to read this one. and you can like count ahead to see which
Mhm.
paragraph you have to read. Oh my god. I'm like my throat is like closing up just thinking about this moment because every time I had to say anything in any class growing
Yeah.
up, I would like choke up. I
Mhm.
literally can feel it like happening right now
Words gone.
because yeah. Oh yeah. I would like get the sweaty palms, and I would rehearse my paragraph in my brain over and over and over so that by the time it was my turn to read out loud,
Yeah.
I could do my absolute best and not mess up, right?
Mhm.
So there was this one day we were reading. I don't remember what the book was, but my paragraph had a cuss word in it.
Mm.
Okay.
Did we switch it out? What did we
I
do?
was terrified because I was the little Christian girl. I didn't cuss.
Mm.
I never cussed. And I was taught that it was a sin, and I don't do that. I knew this cuss word was coming up. And so when I started reading out loud, I skipped it and I just kept going with
Mm.
the paragraph,
Okay.
right? My teacher called me out in sixth
Oh
grade.
my goodness.
She called me out and she said, Stephanie, I want you to start over and read the word as it is on the page. There's nothing wrong with saying that word. Please start over. I know. If you guys are listening, Danielle's eyes are like wide
Wide
right
open.
now. Like, what
Yes.
the? You're making a little girl like say a cuss word if she doesn't want to?
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I just remember like everyone in the classroom staring at me and like laughing because they're like,
Giggling.
what is wrong
Oh,
with you,
the
Stephanie?
giggle.
Like, just say the word. Like, why does it matter? But in my mind, it
Yeah.
was a sin. I was like, no, I can't do. Anyways, I wish that I had spoken up for myself that day and said, "I'm
Mm.
not comfortable with saying that word. You know, I'm not gonna say it," but I didn't. I did what the teacher said. I did as I was told, and I read it. And I just remember feeling awful the rest of the class. So just like my memory is fuzzy because the whole time I'm just replaying in my head, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that." And all night I felt awful. I told my parents because I was like, I sinned today. I said a cuss word. And the next day I went into school, into that class. The
Yeah.
teacher actually did come up and apologize. Like
Mm.
she realized
Good.
that she shouldn't have done that. But if I have to pinpoint a time and in which I remember turning my voice off to please someone else and just
Mhm.
follow the rules and do what I'm told, that's the time I remember. And ugh, it's not a good feeling. But at the end of the day, it taught me a really good lesson because I gave up my power that day.
Yeah.
Like, I gave it up and I spoke up based on what I thought I needed to say or what the right thing was instead of speaking, like, my own inner truth.
Mhm.
So that was kinda the takeaway of growing up as the shy girl and of that moment was, if you want to really own your own truth and own your power, you've gotta use your voice. There's no other way, you
Amen,
know?
sis.
Yeah.
So 2 things happened while you were sharing that story for me.
Okay.
So, one is I'm like, yes, I'm even getting sweaty palms and crackly voice and that like, that butterfly feeling when your heart starts racing faster? Because
Yeah.
so many people can relate to that.
Yeah.
If you would have told me I would be a keynote speaker, I would have laughed in your face because I used to pretend I was sick if I knew I had to present in school. And
You did
literally, oh my
too?
goodness. And literally the whole like you described it so perfectly of the wooden desks. And like I literally pictured myself in sixth grade. Sixth grade Danny dropped right in. And
Yeah.
I remember I would do the same thing as you described, but like literally the words would like jump off the page and I would black out while I read it. And I'm like, did I even say it
Oh,
right? I don't even know.
yeah.
And so I think so many people listening can relate to that. And it's that weird pressure that I think everyone experiences when it's their turn to read or to present in school.
Mhm.
But the other thing that dropped in for me, and I think it's a really powerful takeaway of what you described, is being true to your boundaries for yourself and not outsourcing your power. And it was
Mhm.
such a great description of that feeling that lingers when we do it. And what's funny to me is we're not really taught as children. There's not a lot of dialogue or communication around how do we support our power and protect our power and protect what feels good and feels right in our bodies. And I think a lot of people can relate to that story as a result. And the takeaway there is for you listening, when did you outsource your power? Because
Mhm.
sometimes, like you said, you started with, I've reflected on this question a lot,
Yeah.
right? And you've kind of dialed it into there. But I think a lot of people feel like, when did this shift? Because their inner child wants to come out, that playful stuff that's there,
Mhm.
right? So I think for you listening to this, really ask yourself, if you related to what Steph said, but you're not sure when you did it, look at your childhood. Look at a time when you might have outsourced it. I think that's so powerful. So thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit into, so we've dimmed the voice. Okay. We've started to quiet that inner voice. We're starting to maybe not hold the boundaries that we want. And now we're getting into adulthood. And you've had quite a few different career paths so far to the stuff that's sitting here today. Take us back to that and share a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. I remained shy Steph probably until I was about 30 years old or so.
Hmm.
I did what my parents told me to do, and I went to college and I got the degree. And I went to grad school and I got the doctorate degree in physical therapy. And then I moved to Arizona and I started working for corporate. And I did enjoy working as a physical therapist. I got to talk to a lot of people every single day and help them heal and feel better. But I didn't enjoy working for someone else.
Mm.
It definitely didn't light me up. I didn't feel seen, heard, or appreciated in the roles that I had. And so it was at that point where I started to really critically ask myself more questions like, what is it that Stephanie actually wants? Like, not what
Mm.
Stephanie's parents want or what society tells you you need to have this sort of job to be successful or make this amount of money, but like, what does Stephanie actually want for herself? Who does she want to be? What does she want to do? I started going down this path of awakening my voice and also just tapping into that inner child again of the stuff and what she enjoys and what she doesn't like and what does she believe. I started questioning everything.
Hmm.
And all of that actually happened because of a moment with my parents. And I know you've kind of heard a little bit of
Yeah.
this. I won't go too much into detail, but for anyone listening who doesn't know me, I have had to set big boundaries with my parents because in 2021, my parents is their marriage was just crumbling.
Hmm.
My mother was very mentally ill and denied it. And I tried for 9 months to get her the mental health help that she truly needed. And I ultimately failed because you can't help someone who doesn't want help and doesn't admit that they have a problem. So, in the process of trying so hard to be the good eldest daughter and like fix my parents, I completely lost myself. And that's kind of what spurred this whole like awakening process within me of, okay, I've got to set the boundary. I've got to remove them from my life so I can take back my power,
Hmm.
awaken my voice again and actually say like what I want in life instead of just, checking the boxes and living someone else's script,
Sure.
you know? So
So it sounds like there was some magic in the mess.
that was the mother effing mess right there was like all the parent drama.
Yeah.
But it was the
In your
best thing to
in your
happen to me, though.
and it usually is. That's why I'm
Yeah.
such a believer that the magic is often found in the mess. You don't know it while
Yeah.
you're in the mess. The hindsight is where you see it.
Mhm.
But if you're in a messy moment, it could be your next breakthrough. It could be your next expansion. It could be rediscovering your voice and taking back your power. So if
Mhm.
you're listening to this and you're in that messy middle, know that there's a brighter future around the corner. And if you really listen to yourself and take action, like Steph did, you can really awaken that voice again. Now, okay, so we're in 2021 and you kind of go through the mess and you're starting to feel like, okay, I want to get back to little Steph. I want to get back to my creative self. But it wasn't like a switch you flipped that, okay, boom, now video bestie Steph is sitting here on the couch. So take us through a little bit of the transition and some of the lessons that you learned or that you maybe wish you would have learned faster while going through it.
Yeah. The transition process of figuring out who I wanna be took a couple years, probably. I mean, it's a daily process, right?
Yeah.
For those of us women who like to continually grow and get better, it's a daily process. But The first couple years was really just a ton of journaling, reading, manifesting, diving into my human design to figure out who was I truly born to be? Not
Mhm.
who was I molded to be, but who was I born to be, like at its core. And yeah, it was a little messy and it was a little scary because
Yeah.
I'm married and I'm like, is my husband still going to love me if I go through this whole process and
Oh,
come
yeah.
out a different person? I absolutely came out a better woman. And I'm so grateful that he loves me even more now, especially now that I actually talk and use my voice. I was like, oh my God, how did he fall in love with me before when I barely talked? I can't, it's crazy. But I'm now in the place where I'm just so proud of who I've become,
Mhm.
but it's definitely not like an overnight thing.
Yeah.
It's work that you've got to keep putting in the work to grow and become the person you truly want to be. But when it comes to my career, I don't know about you, but I feel like your career is like a reflection of who you become.
Yep.
And so I found that the old Steph felt really unfulfilled in that physical therapy, like corporate career. And I was tapping into this new Steph who really was lit up by things like being outdoors or getting to create or getting to use sound bowls or getting to journal. And I was starting to tap more into my creative side that had been closed off for so many years.
Yeah.
And so as I grew as a person, I was realizing why can't I just figure out some sort of job that brings in money but also is more fun and allows me to tap into my creative side more. So instead of just sitting around and hoping an opportunity would come that would align for me, I decided to just start creating some new opportunities for myself. So, if anyone listening, you're in like a very science based career, to go complete like opposite end of the spectrum to a creative career and just like quit overnight and say, I'm starting over, that would sound really crazy.
Mhm.
It would sound really crazy to people. And people would judge you and be like, what is wrong with you? Are you going through like a midlife crisis or something? Like, what's going on? So for me, what I did was I started to just sprinkle in a little bit of the fun, creative work
Gradually.
gradually.
Yeah.
So I kept my full-time PT job and I gradually started to take on some video freelancing work. So you can
Okay,
pick,
hold on, pause,
yeah.
because if you're watching this, when you said
Did I?
video freelancing work, you literally, like, shot up, your eyes got sparkly and brighter,
I didn't mean to do that, but it's
but
just like
it's
that's the
because it
effect.
truly does that for you,
It does.
which I needed to
Like,
point out.
I just was like, "Oh," it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
feeling good." So I started to, get in the cute yoga outfits and make fitness videos
Mm,
in my dining room in our little apartment. Brands would send me treadmills and Pilates reformers and bands, and they would say, "Steph, make videos with our fitness products." And
yeah.
with my PT background, it kind of fit well at the time
Yeah.
to teach exercise because I know the body really well. And so I started to take that on. And then eventually, it picked up
Mhm.
and more clients and brands wanted videos. And I started bringing it in a good amount of money on the side as my side hustle.
Mhm.
And that felt really, really good as a human design generator to be like lit up by this work I'm doing. And at the same time, feeling needed and seen and heard and making money doing something that's
Yeah.
creative, you know?
Okay, so, first of all, I just love how lit up you just got. But one of the things that you said that I think is really important for anybody listening to really hear loud and clear, and that is to not sit around and wait for someone to invite you, not sit around and
Mhm.
wait for an opportunity to fall in your lap. There is endless opportunities in this world, and if you want something, go make it happen. Put yourself out there. Make the ask. If you get turned down, it's okay. And one of the things that is so cool about you that I would love to get into next is your evolution as a videographer, because we became friends when you were pretty green at it.
Yes.
I remember you would say things like, "Oh, I'm a beginner," and you
Yes.
you and you could your energy even has shifted. Like, I've had the pleasure of watching you set up for events and capture different voices, and your confidence has grown so much, and that's a testament from the reps. So talk to us a little bit about really leaning into what lights you up and the feelings that you had inside, who you had to become to get to the level of confidence you have in your craft today.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The person I had to become to get to this level is just a constant learner. I had to accept that, okay, I'm starting over with this video thing. I
Mhm.
have to accept that number one, I'm not going to be perfect at it. Number two, I'm not going to be the best at it. Number three, I'm probably going to F up and, mess some things up at first, but that's okay. I had to accept that I was going to be a complete beginner in something.
Mhm.
But at the same time, because I was so lit up by it and it was so exciting, I was okay with that
Yeah.
because it was fun in the beginning to learn and figure out what worked and what didn't work. So what I did was, once the video freelancing stuff started to take off more, I was able to quit physical therapy and focus fully on video. But I was realizing that there's so many niches in the video world.
Yeah.
There's like so many opportunities, kind of like with physical therapy. It's like I could do outpatient PT or a nursing facility or a hospital, neuro. There's like different niches. Well, in the video world, I started with like product videos
Mhm.
and then I was looking around realizing, I could also do events. I could do podcasts. I could do speaker videos, even just reels content for people. But for me, I'm an experimenter. I think you are too
Mhm.
in human design, right? Is
Yeah.
it 352?
I'm a 6'2".
You're 6'2". Ah, which one is the experimenter?
It's the 3.
It's the three in it. Okay. But the three profile line means like you have to try things out
Yeah.
first.
My daughter's a 3.
Yeah.
She's an experimenter.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not going to just like write up a business plan and say, here's what I'm doing.
Sure.
I have to say, I'm going to try this, this, and this out, see which one lights me up the most, I enjoy the most, and then move forward.
Yep.
So what I did was I made a really big ask, which is why you mentioned
Yep.
that, because so much of my life has changed because I've awakened my voice and made some really big
Yeah.
asks. So I had heard that my friend, she's a speaker. Shout out to Veronica Clark. I don't know if you've met
I
Veronica.
haven't.
She is this bold, vivacious, like free spirited woman. I was new friends with her and I saw that she was speaking at an event.
Mhm.
It's called the Arizona Women Lead Here Conference. And she was chosen as the keynote speaker. Out of nowhere, I get this download. Ask Veronica if you can film her. Ask her, just ask her. So I reached out and I was like, Veronica, do you have a videographer for your keynote yet? If you don't, I was wondering if I could come film it for free because I've
Mhm.
never filmed a speaker or an event before, but I want to test it out and see if I even like it. I'll literally just come and get you some free footage and it might suck. It's probably going to suck because I've never done this before. And I literally showed up with just a little old camera I had,
Yeah.
no idea what I was doing, but can I come do this? And she said yes.
Mhm.
And that was 2 years ago, just 2 years
Mm.
ago, that she said, sure, Steph, you can try it out. And I filmed that event. I filmed her speaking. When I look back at the footage now, it is the worst footage ever.
As is anything when we're beginning, right?
So bad, Veronica. I love you for letting me just test it out, though.
Yep.
And I fell in love with filming women and their voices and them stepping on stage into their power to ignite more movement and change in the world. I just loved it so much. And I knew that I sucked and I was the worst that day, but I knew that I can learn. I'm a
Yeah.
fast learner. And when I love what I do, that's what matters most to me because people can feel that.
Well, and there's so much power in being a beginner because you're a fresh
Oh,
set of
yeah.
eyes, and it really it's good to always be learning. And then
Yeah.
when you find the thing that lights you up, it's even easier to begin to learn. Okay, so I
Yeah.
want to shift a little bit because
Okay.
you also light up when you talk about capturing others. And that's what
Hmm.
makes you such a magnetic video bestie. You put people at ease, you make it so fun. And I just know anytime you're capturing me that it's going to be gold. Like I don't have to give you any directions, nothing. And it's the best thing ever. But a lot of people, and probably those people listening to this, aren't so comfortable on camera,
Yeah.
right? And I
Hmm.
know that you've worked with women who aren't comfortable on camera and who get the nerves of reading a book in 6th grade. So talk to us a little bit about what you've seen in filming others and some like tactical tips you could give the listeners to start to build that confidence of awakening their voice?
Well, just yesterday I was filming an event, and it's so funny to me how I love being on camera. I'm like, give me the mic, Hey, everyone. I just light up. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But that's kind of crazy to think back that I used to be the shy girl that didn't even want to say anything. So the
Right.
fact that I'm comfortable speaking, especially on camera, it's it's a testament to the fact that really anyone can become comfortable speaking on camera if you put in the reps and you put in the practice.
Sure.
So when I'm working with people, with women, with anyone at events, filming anything, I am always happy to give a little coaching behind the scenes because I know that 99% of people are afraid to be on camera.
Very afraid.
Very afraid.
Yeah.
So just yesterday, I'm filming this conference. It's more of a corporate, like masculine vibe conference,
Mm-hmm.
and I always want to get a couple testimonials from attendees. It's just a little gift I like to give the event host. So I'm going around with this microphone. Hey, do you want to do a testimonial? No, 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 I can't be on camera. That makes me so uncomfortable. Like so many
Wow.
no's.
Yeah.
And then the couple people that did say yes, they said, but I don't know what to say. Can you tell me what to say? Okay, wait, can I have a minute to figure out what sentence I want to say? Like, I could just tell their minds are racing and they're like flipping out
Yeah.
inside.
Their inner
So,
sixth grader is coming out. They have to read their paragraph.
oh, yeah. And it's crazy because I know how they feel. You
Yeah.
know how they
Yeah.
feel. So I always start with take a really big breath. We've got this. I want you to just fill in the blank for me. My favorite thing about today's event was blank.
Mhm.
Simple. And just speak from your heart. Talk to this camera lens right here. It's your best friend.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be or pretend like you're anyone else right now. Like just be yourself and just
Yeah.
speak from the heart. What have you really enjoyed today? So I try and remind them, okay, breathe. I try and bring
Yeah.
the energy down to more of a like a heart led place for them
Yeah.
and kind of bring in a little bit more of those like bestie vibes because for some reason, just that camera lens makes people freak out.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Puts them in freeze, like fight or flight almost pops up. I
Yeah.
think it's so good because you're bringing them back to self, right? And
Mhm.
anytime we authentically talk about what we enjoyed, if you really enjoyed it, you'll have something to say.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But I think so many videographers, I think what happens is you already have the camera in your face that's causing you to feel inferior, right? Like you're just like, oh, and you're going
Mhm.
inward and shrinking a little bit and you're getting sweaty.
Yeah.
And then the videographer is not saying anything because I've seen that happen too. And
Mhm.
it's almost like you put the videographer on this pedestal that for some reason, because they have a camera in their hand, that they're just automatically good on camera. But some videographers they like to stay behind the lens.
Yeah, that's a really
Most,
great point. I think
right?
most are like that. For me, maybe that's why I can help people feel so comfortable on camera
Yeah.
because I'm comfortable. So I'm a little better at coaching them on
Yeah.
how to feel and how to speak from their heart and just speak their truth.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. Yeah.
I think that it's double, right? Because it's the
Mhm.
whole fact of most people don't like the sound of their voice.
Yeah.
Everyone is critical of themselves when they see themselves on camera. And then they have
Oh.
that other piece. So one thing that I like to do when I was getting comfortable on camera is I would pretend like this sounds really ridiculous, but growing up dancing, I would pretend like the audience is naked.
Yeah.
Like they're all because you almost feel naked when you stand up there. You feel like you're in an exam room, like getting your skin checked. You're like, oh, the camera, right? So anything that you can come up with to make yourself comfortable and to humanize the camera and the
Mhm.
videographer is so good. And you just do it so well with so much grace. Like I feel like you're a warm hug behind the camera.
Mm.
It's so great.
You're
Now,
so sweet.
let's talk a little bit about because I met you after you did your first speaker spotlight
Yes. The day
and
after, I think.
you're the day after your
Yeah.
first event and
Mhm.
oh, like you lit up when you talked about it. So becoming friends with you was one of those like instant connections. And I know
Wait,
everybody listening has
tell
a friend
everyone
like that.
how we became friends.
Okay. So Steph and I became friends. Shout out to Lori Harder
Yeah.
for hosting Girlfriends in Business.
Mhm.
We were both at this event and we were paired up with this this connection exercise by Rebecca Cafiero, actually was the speaker that had
That's
us do
right.
this. Yes. So shout out to you too, Rebecca.
Yes. Thanks, Rebecca.
And we had to ask each other a series of questions. And before I even started with the questions, I went straight to Stephanie. I had seen her speaker spotlight. She was very much who she is online in person. I'm talking about you as if you're not here. And
Yeah.
and I immediately was like, I want to be friends with you, like in real life. And then
Yeah.
we started having our questions and we just clicked.
Mhm.
And it's literally been the most beautiful friendship since then. Every time we've hung out, we get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. We just did our first travel event together.
Oh my God. And it was the best. I just want to travel all the time now with you.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, coming back to Speaker Spotlight, because you had just come off of this event and I was in a season of, I had just come out of my cocoon season.
Yes.
I was starting to figure out what I wanted to do next. And I knew that I wanted to test this topic. And so I'm like, Speaker Spotlight is perfect for testing this topic.
Mm.
And seeing you in action in that and your love for capturing and awakening voices is something I think everyone should experience. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what Speaker Spotlight is, what it does for the women that experience it, and how much it lights you up.
I would be happy to share about Speaker Spotlight all day long. It's my favorite thing. I first want to say I'm just so grateful for your friendship. Thank you for sharing that little story. I think that a lot of times you meet people at events and then
Mhm.
you just never see them again, or you just don't take action to follow up and like
Mm.
keep connecting. But we set a date to meet up and have coffee, and then we set another lunchtime and then another hangout.
Yep.
And now we have like double dates with our husbands. And
Mhm.
I think it's because when you truly like connect with someone, you're going to take the time to, you
Take
know,
the time.
take the time, even if
Yeah.
it means driving an hour each way to
Yeah.
see each other.
Yeah.
Because it's so important to surround yourself with like really, really great friends that lift you up and expand you. So I just want to say thank you for being
Thanks,
such a
babe.
great friend. So Speaker Spotlight is the event that I hosted right the day before I met you.
Mhm.
And I remember at Girlfriends in Business, because I'm like a speak up girl now and I'm not afraid to like ask questions. I kept asking questions all day. Like, okay, so I have Speaker Spotlight and it just went great. For the next one, I would ask a question like, how should I do things for the next one? Or how do I get feedback about this one? So I kept bringing up Speaker Spotlight because I was just like so passionate about it after
Yeah.
just one event. I knew that I had to do more Speaker Spotlight events.
Mhm.
But it's funny because when I got the idea for Speaker Spotlight and launched the first event, I wasn't sure if anyone would even want it at all. It was really freaking scary to put a
Yeah.
whole brand new idea out that had never been tested.
You
I
didn't get to
didn't
experiment.
I didn't get to experiment. I had never seen anyone else do something like it, so I didn't even know if women would want a stage opportunity
Sure.
or want to pay for it, you know?
Mhm.
But I knew that it was something that I wanted was to get on more stages. And I was sitting around hoping and wishing that someone would ask me to speak on their stage. And newsflash, they're not going to.
Nope.
It's not just going to like land in your lap. You have to create your own opportunities sometimes.
Yep.
So I wasn't being asked to speak on stages. So I said, how can I make a stage and get footage of me speaking on stage so that more people will see me as a speaker and get to hear me speaking, but also invite some other women to do the same. Because if I'm struggling to get
Yeah.
the experience and the video footage and the photos and the practice, if I'm struggling to get those opportunities, I'm sure other women are too.
Yep.
I don't know, but maybe. So I launched the first speaker spotlight in 2024.
Yep.
Yes, 2024. And here's the thing, the day the doors opened, I got one woman that signed up.
Yep.
And then I didn't get anyone else that signed up for like 2
Mm.
weeks. So I was freaking out inside. I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe people don't want this. Maybe this isn't going to be a thing.
Mm.
So I had this moment where I had to really question like, do I just want to cancel and give up? Or do I want to show the universe that I'm like all in and this event is happening no matter what? So what I did was, ooh, I was like talking to my husband, Zach. I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Like, no one's signing up. I'm just going to cancel. But then I realized maybe I have to show the universe that like I'm all in.
Yeah.
I can't just sit here and hope people are going to sign up. I need to start putting out the energy that this event is happening. This event is really freaking amazing and you need to be there instead
Mhm.
of the energy of, oh, I hope people sign up and I hope this works out.
Okay, but
It
let's
was like a
pause
total shift.
because it was a tug of war
Yeah.
between old stuff and new stuff. And this
Yes.
happens so much for
Yeah.
everyone. And that is the perfect example of the messy middle because you got that
Mhm.
instant dopamine hit of like, okay, someone signed up. This
Yeah.
is fantastic. And then the wait period of nothing. And that's when all of that doubt, all of the creep comes
Right.
in, all of the resistance, all of the I'm going to give up energy because nobody wants this. And can you imagine if you wouldn't have done that? You've done 3 speaker spotlights now,
I know.
right? And so it's so important for you listening if you're in that moment of questioning it all, wondering if you should give up, not sure if this is for you, this is a dumb idea. Keep going. Keep going.
Mhm.
If you believe in it and it's on your heart and you feel called to do it and it lights you up, then it is 100% meant for you. And the second you decide to believe it, like you did, you changed your energy around it,
Yes.
it'll all come together.
I had to shift just my all my energy into it instead of seeing it as something that might work out. I was like, "No, this is happening."
Yeah.
And so what I did was I decided to make a really, really big ask in the DMs to
Mm.
ask a keynote to come speak because I knew in my mind, if I can get a big keynote to say yes, then I can't cancel. Like, the event has to happen.
Yeah.
Even if no one else signs up,
It's
like,
your
it has to
accountability partner.
happen. I have to take some sort of, like, big action to show the universe that I'm not just sitting around hoping. I'm actually putting this into existence. This is happening.
Yeah.
So I sent Lindsay Marie from Powerhouse Women a
Hmm.
DM. I said, "Oh my God, Lindsay, like I've been wanting to ask you for weeks to keynote my speaker spotlight event. I had the idea for speaker spotlight when I was at her expanders retreat. So I
Mm.
just felt like she was meant to be there in
Perfect.
some way.
Yeah.
But for weeks, I had this drafted letter to ask her, and I was just scared to send it. Like the little stuff was coming
Yeah.
back, like
Stay safe,
afraid,
stay
yeah,
small.
afraid that she'd say no, and then my life would be over. Like
Isn't
I don't
it
know,
crazy how our brain does that to us?
yeah.
It's crazy.
So I ended up sending her the message and asking her to come keynote, even though the event was still up in the air. I was like, no, I'm asking. And I'll never forget how she replied to that message. She said the very next day, she said, Steph, yes, I'm going to be there. And I'm like, whoa, oh my God, this is happening. Okay, the
Also,
event
holy
is really
shit.
happening. Holy shit. Okay. Then she also said, I actually have a few appointments that day, but I'm going to move them around to be there for a
Wow.
few hours for you. Like, this is really important for me to be there to support your first event. And I don't ever want you to forget this. This, yes, is validation for you to continue speaking up for what you want.
Oh, wow.
And I just
Chills.
get chills like every time I think of her response. Like, what a beautiful woman she is to
Yeah.
not only make it work for me, but also say, don't forget this
Yeah.
validation stuff. Like, you need to keep asking for what you want, speak up for what you want.
Yeah.
And it was just a beautiful reminder for the little Steph in me who's afraid to speak up for herself that
Yeah.
sometimes you do have to speak up, even if it's scary, even if it's a really big ask. And yeah, they might say no or not right now, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not going to align right now, but you're never going to know if you don't try, if you don't ask. So I made the
Yeah.
ask.
Building that ask muscle is so important and such a testament to Lindsay because
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, most people have somebody in their life that believed in them and they hear their voice when they need to do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't be afraid to speak up and be that voice for somebody. When you see magic in someone, share it because
Yeah.
you might become the Lindsay that lives in their head the next time they have to do that hard thing that you showed them they could believe in themselves for. And that is
Mm-hmm.
just such a powerful thing if you think about it, because I'm sure because you've made other big asks. I've been
Uh-huh.
around watching you do it.
But I think
And
it's because of her
that's what I mean. And
validation.
I'm sure you think about that message, that response,
I
that
do.
sentence every time, and it gives you that much more courage.
Yeah.
And then now that you've made several big asks,
Mm-hmm.
you have expanded The amount of expansion you've done since I met you is insane. And each time, has it gotten a little bit easier to make the ask?
It has, only because that first big one
Mhm.
said yes and gave me that validation. It kinda, like, is like a little courage muscle. It keeps growing and growing each time I make a big ask,
Yeah.
and they don't always say yes. I had some keynotes that I asked to speak say no, and that's okay,
Yeah.
but for the second event and the third event, I had some really big female keynote speakers say yes to be at my event, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't just put out that one little
Little
message
ask.
just asking them, even if it's scary,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit now. Let's shift gears a bit. I want you to share from your lens the
Mhm,
power of putting your voice out there because you have captured some really big names. You've
mhm,
captured some really big events. You have captured hundreds of keynote speakers at this point.
mhm.
What do you see it do for their career, for their confidence, for their bookability, for them to be able to get booked for more and more in their exposure?
Yeah. Speaking up and sharing your voice, whether it be in a small room, a large room, on a stage, virtually, on a podcast. When I say speaking, it doesn't have to be just a big stage moment.
Yeah.
Like anytime you are speaking up and sharing your voice, you have the power to ignite change in the audience. Now, is every single person listening going to connect and relate
Sure.
and feel like inspired when they leave? No, probably not. But if at least one person in the audience really connects with your voice and your story and walks away wanting to make some sort of change in their life, then I would say that's a win.
Mhm.
So, when you step into your speaker era and you start to awaken your voice more and want to start sharing your story more, it is so freaking powerful because it's one thing to sell services online or write words or, post things, but it's another to actually start sharing your voice
Mhm.
because your voice is how people feel you energetically. It's like
Sure.
how they connect with you. It's what allows them to fall in love with you as a friend, like as a colleague or someone they want to hire is your voice. So the more and more people and women I capture speaking anywhere, I have seen some women just go from like beginner speakers
Yeah.
to really growing and getting better and better each time, feeling more confident speaking on bigger stages. And it does a lot more than just like make them known as a speaker. It really, in my mind, allows other people to see them as more of a leader.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, really how people differentiate themselves in different industries. It's like, do you want to hire the follower that's just copying everyone? Or do you want to hire the leader that's like taking a stand, that's standing up for what they believe in, that's voicing their opinions and their beliefs? They're like paving the way. Which one do you want to hire?
Yeah.
Right. And I think speaking and using your voice is just a really great way for you to take action and show people that, like, I'm leading this industry and I'm the one that you want to hire, and here's why. And so they can
Yeah.
truly like feel you,
Yep.
you know?
Oh, so good. So good. And I think that a couple of things dropped in for me while you were saying that because it's clear you can see the evolution when someone starts to share their voice. We saw
Hmm.
it in the story from you that you shared with us on today's episode, right? And it's being willing that
Hmm.
most people, the things that they're doing it because it's heart centered,
Yeah.
because they feel lit up by it, and usually because they want to make some sort of impact. And what I find, and I don't know if you agree to this, is that a lot of times the missing component where you feel like you're not making the impact is because you're not sharing your voice,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
the other thing that dropped in that I think is so important to really drive home is that it doesn't have to be a podcast. You don't have to start a podcast. You don't have to be a keynote speaker. You don't have to be on a stage full of hundreds and hundreds of people. It could be one reel that you post on Instagram or
You and your
TikTok or
phone.
YouTube that makes you become the Lindsay of somebody else's life,
Hmm.
right? One sentence that you say. So it's beginning to practice what you preach and saying, if you're telling people, friends and family and people you feel safe with, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to make a difference. This is how I want to serve. But you're not showing up and sharing your voice. You're
Hmm.
really robbing all of those people of your gifts.
Yeah. I love that. That's beautifully said. And can I just turn this around and ask you a quick question?
Bring it,
I'm
girl.
curious, why do you want to speak more? Because, we're friends. You just went to
Yeah.
Aaron King's like speaking retreat and you want to really grow your
Yeah.
speaking career. Why?
Mhm.
Like, what's the deep desire for you?
All impact. All
Mm-hmm.
impact. My number one goal is to show people that alignment is what creates freedom, not action, right? And action
Mm-hmm.
is part of it, but if you're not taking aligned action, you're never going to get to freedom.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that I was brought to this world to help people discover their money story
Yeah.
because your money story is your through line into every single thing that you do. And if you have no idea that it's there, if you haven't spent time with your little version of you, your inner child, it can keep you from living an aligned life, which then keeps you from freedom.
Mm, that's so good. I can't wait to see you on more stages.
Aw, thanks, girl. You'll be with me. We talked about
I
this.
know.
We have
Well,
a
that's
whole
what we're
plan. We have
manifesting.
a whole plan. Okay, so let's talk about what is for somebody who's listening to this and they're like, "Okay, holy shit, you have inspired me and I know I need to awaken my voice. I know that I need to start putting out content. I need to start just flipping the camera on."
Hmm.
What would you say to them to get started?
I would say be you,
Mhm.
be yourself. It's not the loudest person in the room. It's not the person that's like extra dramatic and oh my God. People, they just want to see that you're being real, that
Real.
you're being yourself.
Yeah.
So when you start to speak up more, whether that's just a selfie with your camera or maybe you do have some sort of speaking gig or shoot or whatever, just be yourself because people can feel that energy
Yeah.
if you're being a little fake or trying to be like someone else. Just be yourself. I think that when I think back to like some of my favorite speakers that I've listened to when I'm filming them or just attending an event, it's the women that make me feel something
Mhm.
that are memorable to me.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the loudest woman or the woman that has all these really quotable lines that she drops in like these mic drop moments. For me, it's the ones that gave me the chills. It's the ones that like I could feel like they were speaking from their heart
Yeah.
in a very authentic way with their voice, not feeling like they had to put on a show. The
Mhm.
ones that truly made me feel their heart, they're the ones that I relate to most. They're the ones I run up to after and say, I need to meet you. I need to thank you. Like,
Yeah. You
those are
made
the
me feel
women. You
something.
made me feel something.
Yeah.
So, as you guys listening, when you start to practice awakening your voice more and speaking more on camera or on your phone, just remember to be yourself, number one, and speak from your heart.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's no need to put a show on. And if you can do those two things and just put in the reps and the practice, you'll get better and better every single time.
Yep.
Promise you will. I also want to give like a little tactical takeaway for your listeners
Yeah.
because so many people ask me, well, how do I put in the reps and practice, practice, practice? How do I like see if I'm getting better? Or how can I
Mhm.
figure out what to work on? So, what I like to do when I'm practicing a speech is I will film video of myself
Mhm.
doing the
Yep.
speech. I'm probably like in my living room with my hair in a bun and these are just like my troll mode outfit
Yeah.
looking awful, but I hit record and I do a video for myself speaking. And I watch it back later. The first time I watch it back with the sound off so I
Mhm.
can see what my mannerisms are, my hand gestures, if I'm fidgeting with my hands, which I do a lot, or my hair.
Yeah.
I look at the nonverbals
Yep.
because people feel your energy a lot through your posture and your hand
Mhm.
gestures and just the way you move.
Yep.
That tells a lot about if you're comfortable speaking or not.
Mhm.
So I watch it back. And then the second time, I listen back with my eyes closed. So I can
Mm.
actually just listen to the tone of voice, the speed of my voice, all the filler words. How many times did I say, so, all those things,
Yep.
you know? So put in the reps in the practice of being yourself, speaking from your heart, and try watching it back and playing it back those two different times just to visually see and to hear how you can improve. Because if you can just make one tiny improvement each time that you practice speaking, you're going to get better and
1%
better
better
over
every
time.
time.
Absolutely.
1%. That's such great advice. And it's funny because I had a huge sales organization.
Yeah.
And in coaching my sales team, we would do that. So we did deck selling and you're on video. And so we would do when I did feedback, we would actually watch and listen together. And it's cringe and it hurts and it's not fun, right?
Yeah.
But it makes you, I would argue, 5% better each time that you do it. Right. And so know that it might not feel good at first. And you might be like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. But don't let that stop you because every single person is terrible when they start public speaking.
Yes.
That's why we can all relate to your 6th grade story.
Yeah.
Because it's not something we're born with. It's something that you learn. And it's also a self-development process, really finding your voice, finding your boundaries, finding all of the things that stick. So I think that is incredible advice for the listeners to listen to it back. And just know it's not going to be fun
Try
at
it
first.
out. I dare you guys.
No one likes the sound of their voice. So here, I'm going to give you all a little challenge to tag Stephanie and I in your first post. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let us be your cheerleaders because we could become your Lindsay. We could see the magic in you that you aren't seeing. So do the thing that you're afraid of. Do it messy. And if you really feel called to it, take the action because no one's coming to save you. You gotta put it out there.
I love that. Do it.
Do it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about where we can find you because I believe everyone should work with you in some capacity. If you have an event, if you have a podcast, if you want to come to Speaker Spotlight. So where can we get all the goods?
You can find me on Instagram. That's the place I'm at. Nowhere else. At Steph Dorworth, DORWORTH. And that's my home base. I'm on there a lot. As you said earlier, I am like an open book. I'm constantly sharing my life, my dogs, my husband, hiking, and all the behind the scenes. Taylor Swift. Oh my God. Yes. Everything I share on there. But I truly love expressing myself through video on Instagram. And I'm one of those people, it's kind of crazy to think back how shy I used to be and how much of a perfectionist I used to be. Now I just like to throw stories up all day, every day, even if I don't have makeup on. And I don't care because I just want people to like see and feel and know me, you know? So find me on Instagram. And when you do that challenge that she just threw at you, you better tag us because I'm for sure going to send you a voice note back and send some love and cheer you on because it's just my favorite thing. When any woman has the courage to speak and use her voice, I'm always going to be your biggest cheerleader.
And she's not lying, you guys.
No, I'm not.
She really, like, it truly is something that fills her cup to see it, to encourage, and to watch people grow. So please, please, please do the challenge. Now, here at Magic in the Mess, we like to celebrate because I believe magic makers like you don't celebrate enough. So even the little things, I'm a big believer in celebrating the small stuff. It's easier to celebrate the big things, right?
Yeah.
So let's celebrate a small win, big win, whatever size you want within the last 7 days that you haven't paused to celebrate.
Well, I know which one it is. It's something I told you.
Okay.
And I got a dream client. I mean, I'm just going to say it. Lindsay from Powerhouse reached out and she asked me to come film her retreat. And I didn't never put my name in the hat for that. I never asked about it, but she needed someone and she asked and I said yes. And I'm going next week to go to Nashville and film Expander's retreat. So I actually haven't paused to celebrate it. You know why? Because immediately I was like, I need to find a dog sitter. I need to do this.
You went
get
into
my
action
flight.
mode?
I went straight to action.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
So
and that's why we have to do this.
This reminder to pause and celebrate because it's like a dream. It's an absolute dream. So I'm really
and here's the thing is that, and I want to reflect this back to you because I want you to see that one thing, if you missed it, she said she didn't ask. She didn't make the ask. She was asked. And Lindsay is the voice in her head. So that's huge because not only did she believe in you, she has seen the expansion and the growth that I've seen. From your first speaker spotlight, she got to witness that to how you've grown as a creator and somebody who captures women's voices so well. So it is such a big thing to celebrate. Congratulations, girl. And so well deserved.
Thanks.
So well deserved. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your magic with all of us. It was truly an honor to be able to capture some of your story today. And for those of you listening, drop us a like, hit subscribe, go follow my video bestie, Steph. You will not be disappointed. And don't forget to do the challenge. We will see you next Tuesday.